this research from Sainsbury's. We found it really quite shocking today that half of people have never hosted a barbecue. 14% have never been to one. I mean, they're missing out, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. They're definitely missing out. I mean, any place that has a barbecue from a restaurant perspective, family members, you'll definitely find me there. And I find it hard to believe that people haven't attended themselves. It's bizarre.
I mean, it is the smell of summer, right? It is the smell of summer. That and tropical tanning oil, really, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely right. I mean, like, it's the 1st of June today. I presume a lot of people are probably starting to break out their own barbecues for the first time this year. So you're right in a sense when you say it's the smell of summer. It most definitely is.
A lot of this is not just about the food, is it? It's about the coming together, as you were talking about earlier. It's the atmosphere. It's that community feel that a barbecue feels that you don't get with other sorts of meals.
Absolutely. I mean, like, from a catering perspective, you have you've got restaurants and you've got outdoor dining, which is, I suppose, become predominantly popular with COVID. And I suppose the effects of outdoor dining, as you mentioned, is a real community sense in terms of, you'll have people all around the table. You'll have most of the time you'll have all the actual foods on the table. So you've got a real sense of passing foods to one another, sharing, and as you say, a real type of community feel.
Good point about the fact that you're sort of all in one spot and everyone's sharing the whole experience. You're not just off doing something and you come back just to eat the barbecue. Everyone's around. That's a really good point. Music, food,
yes,
family. What could be better, except for more food?
Exactly.
Jack, what would your advice be for people who perhaps don't have the space for a barbecue in their garden or don't have a garden at all? Because there are still options, aren't there, if you do want to barbecue?
Absolutely. I mean, like, if just getting to your first point, in terms of small space, I suppose I'm going to presume that people with small areas probably don't have a barbecue to begin with. So they're probably going to be going down the road of getting a disposable barbecue because they're quite small, they're quite compact. And of course, you're buying them on a once-off for a once-off period, so you can dispose of it afterwards. My only advice from that perspective would be just to be totally aware of your surroundings. I've heard so many stories of people using their disposable barbecue in a decking type area. They'll finish their barbecue, they'll go in, they might go to bed. There could be a heavy gust of wind that night and they could tip over the barbecue and you could end up with a bit of a mess afterwards.
And obviously, you've got to keep it away from clothes. Someone mentioned before that they had it going while their clothes were on the line. And of course, you know, more than the smell could happen, it could catch a lice. So you've got to be careful of that. Now, obviously, you've got to clean your barbecue, right? You've got to clean it if you haven't used it for a long time. And how do you advise we clean it best?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's the 1st of June. People are probably going to start getting their barbecues out for the first time this year. A lot of people probably would have put them into their sheds or their garages or wherever they stored them back in September, October, and they probably only just looked at them for the first time today or over the coming weekend. My suggestion would be that if you get yourself a wire brush, get some sort of a barbecue cleaning product and really get into it and clean off all that old food and anything that's built up on the grill itself. The most important thing to do then would be to rinse that product off. You don't want to be eating that or anything like that or contaminating your food. And once you've got that rinsed off, personally what I would like to do, what I do, and it's a good habit also to get into, is if you get an onion, you can rub the onion across the grill, because onions naturally have they're naturally acidic and they have antibacterial qualities. So not only are you seasoning your grill, you're also using those antibacterial qualities to sanitize the grill almost. And once you're finished with the onion, you can throw it into your barbecue. If you've got a charcoal barbecue, you can throw it into the barbecue, and it'll also infuse the flavors of the onion will infuse into the food. So it's
just one win-win. Question: if you haven't got time to do all that, what about if you just turn the barbecue on high, let all the heat and all the power kill all the bacteria? Is that an easier way of doing it, and then just a quick wipe? I used to do that. I don't know how safe that is, but
I mean, it's. I'm sure we've all been guilty of it, but I mean,
Maybe not.
The safest thing to do really is to start, especially when it's the first time you're bringing it out.
Okay.
I suppose if you're a regular user of your barbecue, I suppose you could take that stance. But for the first time breaking it out this year, I most definitely would give it a clean with some sort of product.
Okay.
Thank you, Jack Delaney. Thank you so much.
Yeah, really good to see you this morning, Jack. Thanks so much. Feeling inspired
Thank you
to
very
start
much.
a barbecue, aren't we? I could listen to his accent all day as well.
Right.
Right.